For the latest Auto Guide shootout, we're comparing two of the leading Japanese compact cars, the Honda Civic and the Nissan Sentra.
We thought about bringing the Toyota Corolla along for the ride, but it's old, really old, and honestly, it just wouldn't be a fair fight. The gas-sipping Sentra gets 30 miles per gallon in the city, 39 on the highway, or according to the EPA, an estimated 34 combined. Pricing starts at $15,990 before delivery, but our top trim test car, that's the SL trim, comes at $23,490. The 1.8-liter four-cylinder pushes 130 horsepower, and that goes either through a manual or, in this case, a CVT.
Let's take a closer look at the Honda Civic. In terms of fuel economy, it gets 28 miles per gallon in the city, 39 miles per gallon on the highway, making for a combined 32 miles per gallon in overall driving. Now, the starting price of the Civic is $18,165, excluding delivery. The model we have is the EXL with navigation, and that comes to $23,765. The Civic is powered by a 1.8-liter four-cylinder engine, and you can get it with either a 5-speed manual transmission or a 5-speed automatic transmission.
The Sentra is all new for 2013, and of course, that means a fresh face. This car takes styling cues that are similar to the new Altima, although with more squished proportions. Standout features include LED accents underneath the headlights, new wheels, and standard chrome accents across the range regardless of which trim package you prefer. Not only that, but this car looks distinctly different than the previous generation, something that you really can't say about the Civic.
Don't be so superficial. While the new Civic doesn't seem that different, it does a few things that makes it look like its big brother, the Accord. Up front, you'll see a bigger grille, and in the back, you'll see a new set of taillights.
Given the Sentra's stylish new exterior, you would probably expect something like that in the cabin. And unfortunately, that's just not the case. Normally, I'd be a fan of things like wood inserts, but on a compact car at the low budget range, it just doesn't fit in. The seats aren't stylish, and coming from somebody who wears khakis every day, there's far too much beige to be seen here. And if you can get past it, there are some things to love about the Sentra. Specifically, it has a lot more interior space, especially in the back seats, than the Civic does. For a compact car, that's a big deal. There's also more trunk space. Not only that, but you get dual zone climate control, yet another thing that you can't have in the Civic. The infotainment system's also a lot easier to use. It's faster to pair a phone, it's simpler to understand, and overall, it's just less of a struggle, which means a lot.
Unlike the Sentra, the Civic has a far more premium interior, and that really helps shed that cheap, econo-box compact car feel. Aside from the premium touch materials, you'll see that the design is pretty nice too. Everything is angled towards the driver, which is a cool look, but it does alienate the passenger. You miss out on the Sentra's 2-zone climate control, but in a car this small, do you really need that? And finally, there's a lot of new tech in the Civic. There's 3 screens in front of you, and that's pretty cool, but it's a bit of an information overload. As part of the 2013 refresh, you get standard Bluetooth, steering wheel audio controls, and a backup camera. And finally, let's talk about the seats in the Civic, which are far more bolstered and secure feeling than what you get in the Sentra.
Both cars come with a 1.8-liter four-cylinder engine, but this car, the Nissan Sentra, is about 10 horsepower less powerful than the Civic. Despite that, it comes with 3 driving modes. That's an Eco mode, Normal, and Sport. And when you put it in Sport mode, surprisingly enough, this car actually feels like it has a little bit more punch off the line than the Civic does. When you put it in Sport mode, the car's CVT goes to a higher RPM, and of course that transmission has an infinite gear ratio, which allows it to do that. So it's not really an adjustment necessarily of throttle response or of acceleration, so much as putting the car to a point where it can deliver more horsepower and give you that more powerful feeling. Unfortunately, that also means that you get sort of a rubbery feel with the acceleration, something that CVTs are widely criticized for. Another criticism of the CVTs is that they tend to buzz a lot, and that's also the case here. And it's something that quiets down on the highway so you don't notice it quite so much, but around town, you're going to hear it roar and buzz quite a bit. It's annoying, but it's something that's going to end up saving you gas. Apart from that, there's the steering and driving feel of the Sentra, which doesn't stack up to the Civic. Around corners, you feel the body roll more, the seats aren't as comfortable, and it's just not as exciting to drive. Despite the fact that the Sentra is definitely the least exciting of the two to drive, it does have advantages. The fact of the matter is it's the cheaper car. Not only that, but most of the advantages it has over the Civic will be there regardless of which trim package you choose, so you can get the more spacious car even without paying for all the extras that people in this segment might not be so concerned about.
In terms of driving, all you need to know is that the Civic is a sharper car in terms of steering and throttle response. Now, in comparison to the old Civic, the new one has a 7% faster steering ratio, and you can really feel it, especially in tight cornering situations. Unlike the Sentra, the Civic only has two driving modes, Normal and Econ. In Econ, the throttle response is dulled in order for you to get better fuel economy, and it works as advertised. But seriously, in a car with only 140 horsepower, you want all of the engine that you can get. So as a result, we ended up using more of the normal mode, and you are going to love it. The Civic is a far more responsive drive than the Sentra. Now that might have to do with the Sentra's CVT, which, after driving both of them, we found that the Sentra ended up getting better fuel economy and was a quieter ride, especially on the highway. In terms of fuel economy, the Civic is not as good as the Sentra. We found a 2 mile per gallon difference in favor of the Sentra than the Civic. And that probably has a lot to do with the Sentra's CVT, while this has a very responsive automatic transmission.
Both cars have their ups and downs, of course, as any do. The Civic is the better driver's car and it's the more engaging package, but that also means that it's more expensive. Turn over to the Sentra and you get a less expensive option, but then again, the cabin is ugly and it doesn't drive as well.
This would have been a closer match if we had brought the 2012 Civic, but Honda made the call to refresh it after just 1 year, resulting in a better package.
And given the warm reception that the Civic has seen after that 1 year refresh, Nissan might want to consider doing something similar.
For more on this car comparison and others like it, visit AutoGuide.com.